Hey, what's up guys? Today, I'll show you a crime horror film, I See You. Spoiler ahead, watch out and take care. The movie begins with an unknown boy in a forested area, biking over a long bridge beside the woods. As he ventures much deeper into the dense forest, the winding trail he passes through swiftly becomes rugged and narrow. The direful atmosphere has become so much worse. All of a sudden, he gets thrown off his bike. An unseen force from the unknown launches him a couple of feet into the air, which seems to depict a bewildering crime and a puzzling terror in the city. Meanwhile, at night, a family leaves in a suburban home with deathly quiet rooms, darkness creeping into the walls as if a mystery awaits in the shadows. The following day, in the family's perspective, the hostess mother gazes blankly into space as she cooks pancakes in the kitchen. Her resentful son comes downstairs, immediately telling her something seems to be burning. She then starts a conversation with son, asking how the school is going, but receives a cold response. On the other hand, son is on his phone with an evident bruise across his cheek. Then the host, Detective Dad, wakes up on the couch, telling son not to be cruel to his mother. He notices and comments on the bruise, assuming that rebellious fights at school occur. A few moments later, he goes upstairs and sees a missing picture from the frames. One day, mother is seemingly in a daze again in her car while watching pupils crossing the street with their teacher. She calls her husband to say that she prepares pancakes and says sorry for not waking him up. Once the call drops, Detective Dad violently throws the phone that shatters the window. Annoyed and bewildered in his rage, he looks out the broken window to check on his phone, only to notice the missing mug on the roof, and he goes out to retrieve it. He disappointedly sees the cigarette butts inside, and believes that son is responsible for the mess. Later, the Detective Dad in the office receives news about a 10-year-old boy going missing. They then wonder if it's like the previous kidnapping incident, but the policewoman disagrees. The policewoman emphasizes that Detective Dad will be leading the said enigmatic case. We can validly surmise that the boy shown in the beginning is missing at this point. A few hours later, a search party takes place in the woods. Surprisingly, Detective Dad and his co-detective in the field find a bike lying on a creek, which leads them one step closer to the truth. As mother arrives from work, she notices their kitchen drawer is open and all the utensils are gone. She checks on her son upstairs and is startled to see a repairman requested by her husband to fix the broken window. Bewildered, she immediately asks the repairman about who permitted him to go inside the house. The repairman then responds that it was a girl who let him in to fix the damaged window. Mother suddenly gets confused because she doesn't have a daughter. While the search is ongoing at the crime scene, Detective Dad and his co-detective talk about their suspicions in the case. Everyone keeps eyeing for possible clues and more evidence around the area. They hear a scream and rushes towards it as one of the officers finds a green knife and bags it as proof. The co-detective walks away disturbed because it is the same knife used in an old kidnapping case where 6 boys went missing and got buried. Detective Dad reminds him that the previous suspect is in prison already, so it cannot be the same person for this new related case. The following night, mother breaks the awkward silence by asking son about the repairman, but son accuses her of having a forbidden hormone-ship with the repairman. She shockingly hears son's rude response, but still manages to maintain her composure. Furthermore, son angrily demands to know about the person involved in the affair, but mother refuses to answer. Son gets even angrier, shouting about how cheating ruined their family before he storms away. While washing the dishes, mother gets spooked when the television turns on by itself. She then turns it off, but it turns on again. Moments later, Detective Dad arrives and walks in from work. Mother starts talking to him about the odd things happening in the house. She brings up the window, the missing utensils, and even the repairman's comment about a girl. Unbothered by the said details, Detective Dad dismisses her to go upstairs and notices another picture gets removed from the frame. As Detective Dad enters his room, he sees son's hamster crawling on the floor and follows it quickly. The hamster runs into another room and goes into the dark closet. When Detective Dad is about to catch it, the closet door closes, locking him inside. He starts pounding the door hard, assuming that son is messing with him. Seconds pass. Mother opens the closet door to free him. After hearing that son is not home yet, Detective Dad immediately searches for the intruder in the house, but fails to find anyone. Mother offers him to sleep upstairs to prove that she is willing to do anything to resolve their relationship issue. She also promises to do better this time. In the middle of the night, Mother wakes up because of the noise in another bedroom. She checks the place, but no one is there. So she starts cleaning up the things and notices something under the bed. Not long after, son enters the room, asking what she's doing. She then reminisces about the memories behind the stuffed toy and talks to son. Due to son's cold responses, she puts the stuffed toy again under the bed, only to notice a creepy frog mask. The same night, while Detective Dad is sleeping in the guest room, an unseen force pulls the blanket as if someone mysterious resides in the house. The following day, Detective Dad gets awakened by a call from his co-detective and notices a strange wet spot on his bed. He assumes that he took a leak last night and tosses his smelly wet sheets inside the washing machine before leaving for work. Upon arriving at the office, Detective Dad and his colleagues discuss the case. They compare the case from 15 years ago having the same modus operandi, suggesting that they are dealing with a copycat. They begin speculating that it can be a copycat, as the kidnapper of the past crime is already in prison. Having these alarming signs, the policewoman tells the detectives that they can track down the two victims from the past-related crime. Without any delay, Detective Dad and his co-detective decide to pay a visit to one of the two victims who got abducted 15 years ago. When the co-detective begins asking and talking to the victim turns his burnt face, screaming out of fear. Detective Dad is later back in the office, reviewing old interviews of one of the victims. He then hears the hopeless response of the victim, stating that they will never find the kidnapper. Concurrently, the mother walks downstairs and is surprised to see the man she had an affair with, nicknamed Hormone X, who desperately begs for a possible comeback. She refuses and declines his presence. As Hormone X refuses to leave, a mug falls on his head, causing it to bleed. Next, Mother looks above and speculates that it might be Son responsible for the misbehavior. She takes Hormone X to their garage to treat his wound and plans to bring him to the hospital. She tells him that she will be right back after sending Son to the school. Meanwhile, Son notices something strange upstairs, as if Son is lurking around. Back in the garage, Mother receives a phone call from Hormone X's number. She acknowledges the phone, but no one speaks and begins hearing music instead. Then she recognizes that the melody playing is the same music in the living room. As she goes up to the living room to turn off the music, she asks Son if he turned it on. Son straightly denies and answers no to her question. Later, Mother accompanies Son to school. While driving, she brings the topic and forces Son to tell the truth because of the newfangled incident in the house. Son screams because they almost hit the missing boy's mother, who came to ask for updates. Mother reassures her that the detectives are doing their best for the case. While Hormone X is alone in the garage, an unknown individual pounds him with a bath, leading him to death. As this happens, the investigation is still ongoing at the crime scene. The co-detective finds a string attached to a tree, suspecting that this causes the missing boy to fall off his bike. A few hours later, Mother comes back home and quickly checks Hormone X, only to see him bleeding and dead on the ground. She calls out for Detective Dad's assistance to fix the terrifying mess. Furthermore, she thinks that Son is behind the gruesome act, leading her not to call any ambulance. She breaks down into tears, as Son's life will be at risk if the authorities figure it out. Later, Detective Dad and Mother hurriedly drive into an abandoned area to bury the corpse secretly. Detective Dad soon finishes covering the corpse and the truth, while Mother begs for an apology. As this happens, Son is left alone playing a video game in his room. He then hears a noise and discovers that it came from the laundry machine with their missing silverware. Son goes back to the room and sees that someone messaged him, asking about the meaning of frogging. Out of curiosity, he searches the internet and spots a video of a man secretly living inside somebody's house. Little does Son know, someone with a frog mask earlier is standing behind him. When the couple finally arrive home, Detective Dad grabs a beer when he hears an ear-piercing scream from Mother. He quickly runs and finds Son tied up and unconscious in the bathtub. Detective Dad notices a green knife and realizes that someone is also targeting Son. Unhesitatingly, Mother rushes Son to the hospital, leaving Detective Dad alone in the house to find the culprit. Later, Detective Dad searches every corner of the house while holding a gun. He seeks a room where he finds the missing pictures on the wall, disturbingly vandalized. As the music starts playing, he follows the sound and finds the record player operating. He stops the music, and an unknown man starts coming at him, holding an axe. As the chaos progresses, the other face of the revelation is about to be unveiled, and the time has come to show the intruder's perspective in the last several days. One day, Intruder Girl slides into the family's home with Intruder Boy holding the camera. They enter the house quietly and immediately proceed to the guest room. Intruder Girl films herself and talks about their intentions, which is to make a documentary about professional frogging. They want to live secretly and gradually disrupt things in the house. While filming, Intruder Boy comes in wearing the frog mask. The desirable time of the day is when everyone is not around, as the two intruders can freely roam around the house whenever they want. They hide in the attic whenever the family comes home. While the sun is not shining, the Intruder Girl is inside the attic and notices that the Intruder Boy is gone. She finds him on the roof smoking a cigarette and asks him to remain out of sight. When she sleeps, the intruder boy explores the house with the camera and films all the sleeping family members. In the guest room, they secretly hide their presence and begin playing a word game. Both intruders get shocked when a loud sound disrupts them. They hear footsteps going upstairs and hurriedly hide behind a large mirror, only to see the detective dad in the window. The intruder girl goes to the garage to hide their bags, while the intruder boy removes a photo in the frame. While hanging out in the kitchen, intruder boy also shows an app he downloaded that controls various household devices and suggests messing around with the family. Things get heated up between them when the doorbell rings, causing the intruder girl to panic. It is then revealed that the intruder girl let the repairman enter to fix the window. The intruder boy opens a drawer containing the silverware. He walks around the house and finds a sleeping pill. He crushes it and puts the powder inside a water bottle. While discussing news about a missing boy at night, intruder boy gives the medicated water to intruder girl, causing her to pass out. This time, intruder boy can smoothly mess around in the place with no one preventing him. He frees the hamster to play with detective dad. It is then exposed that intruder boy is the one who locks detective dad in the closet. When mother comes in to help detective dad, intruder boy hides under the bed, wearing the fraud mask to remain uncaught. Additionally, he keeps messing with the family by pulling detective dad's blanket and pouring his stink water in the middle. One morning, intruder girl finds once again intruder boy on the roof smoking. She convinces him to hide and stop playing with the family. Suddenly, intruder boy drops the mug intentionally, while mother and hormone X are discussing. Tension arises when son wanders into the house again. Both intruders quietly conceal their appearance, sneaking around the house. Then, intruder girl goes into the garage as quickly as possible, while intruder boy tries to distract mother with a phone call. While intruder girl is hiding behind boxes in the garage, she's astonished to witness detective dad, who hit hormone X with a baseball bat. Intruder girl badly wants to leave the house, but sees intruder boy messing again, tying up son. Things get heated when intruder girl plans to call the cops. However, intruder boy accidentally sends her tumbling down the stairs. He then puts son in the bathtub with a green knife on the soap. When it is about time to escape in the vehicle, intruder boy attempts to put the unconscious intruder girl in the backseat. However, mother and detective dad arrive right at that time. Then detective dad starts driving the car, not knowing intruder girl is in the backseat. Moments later, intruder girl wakes up and sees a bag beside her. She opens it and finds the bat and a few things in a sealed evidence bag. At this moment, she puts together the clues and figures out that detective dad is the one responsible for the town's missing boys. When the car settles in the forest, intruder girl goes out and calls the cops, telling them that she is with the kidnapper. She eventually finds an old trailer and goes inside, only to find two boys locked inside small lockers crying for help. Unfortunately, detective dad appears and suffocates her with a plastic bag. Time passes, detective dad brings back intruder girl in the house. He forces her to stand up and shoots her with a gun. He tries his best to cover up the scene, making it look like a burglar attack. Meanwhile, intruder boy hears the gunshot and hurriedly grabs an axe with a fraud mask from the basement. Detective dad does not notice intruder boy behind him. The two quickly escalate into a fight as they tumble down on the floor, trying to disarm each other. Detective dad successfully knocks him out on the ground with a rod. He then continues to stab himself to make it appear like a burglar invasion. However, he turns around and finds intruder boy pointing a gun at him. The gun fires, instantly killing detective dad. Moments later, the co-detective arrives at the crime scene and shoots the intruder boy. Co-detective suddenly wonders why intruder boy seems to know him. The whole neighborhood, including son and mother, use the commotion in the house. Meanwhile, the other authorities are already in the trailer in the woods, rescuing the missing boys. The movie ends with the intruder boy recalling everything while on the stretcher. He then recollects how the corrupt detective dad kidnapped him and his friend by using a green knife 15 years ago. As the essence of justice appears, revenge becomes possible, with intruder boy's eyes stating, "I see you." This is Daniel CC Movie Channel. Stay safe and enjoy your day.